They said I needed a teacher to speak English. I proved them all wrong, with nothing but will. Hey there. Before I start, let me ask you something. Have you ever felt stuck with English? Like no matter what you do, nothing really works? That was me. Just a regular guy in a small town, with big dreams and zero resources. No classes. No teacher. Just me and my dream. I still remember my first sentence in English. My name is... And then silence. I forgot what to say next. My face turned red. People laughed. I smiled, but inside, I felt like I'd failed. That moment could have broken me. But instead, it became my reason to start. I didn't have money for a course. My parents didn't speak English. No native speakers around. But I had a phone. I had Wi-Fi. And I had time. That was enough. I told myself, if others can learn, so can I. The first step was scary. I opened YouTube and searched, how to learn English. So many videos. Too many, actually. Some were boring, some confusing. But then I found one video. Simple English. Clear words. It felt like the person on screen was talking just to me. I watched that one video again and again. I repeated every word. I paused. I wrote it down. I whispered the sentences when I was alone. I didn't even understand everything. But I kept going. I didn't wait to feel ready. Then I made a decision. I changed my phone language to English. Every app, every setting, English. It was hard at first. I couldn't find the alarm. I got lost in my messages. But slowly it started to make sense. I also made a promise to myself, no subtitles in my native language. Only English. If I didn't understand something, I didn't panic. I guessed the meaning. I used pictures. I trusted my brain to learn, just like a baby learns. At night, I would talk to myself in English. I'd stand in front of a mirror and speak. How are you? I'm fine. What did I do today? At first, it felt stupid. But soon, I started enjoying it. It became my little game. I didn't focus on grammar rules. I focused on real sentences. Things people actually say. I repeated them 10, 20, even 50 times. I spoke them while walking, while cooking, even while brushing my teeth. English was slowly becoming part of my life. The truth? I was afraid at first. Afraid to sound silly. Afraid to make mistakes. But one day, I realized, nobody cares. People are busy. And those who laugh? They don't matter. My dream matters. So I kept going. Every single day. Even when I was tired. Even when I wanted to quit. I remembered why I started. I wanted freedom. I wanted to travel. I wanted to understand songs and movies. I wanted to feel confident. And English was the key. At the beginning, I was lost. I watched videos without any plan, just hoping to improve. But hope alone doesn't work. So I built habits. Small actions. Simple steps. Daily practice. No big goals, just 30 minutes of English every single day. No excuses. No skipping. I chose the morning. Before breakfast, before scrolling, I opened my notebook or a YouTube video. Sometimes I listened to a podcast. Sometimes I read simple English articles. I didn't need a classroom. Just my phone, my focus, and the habit of showing up daily. Then I started a journal. Every morning, I wrote 5 simple lines in English. I'm feeling tired today. I want coffee. The sky is blue. It didn't matter if it was basic. I wasn't trying to impress anyone. I was training my brain to think in English, not translate. That's when I learned something important. Your words create your reality. I stopped saying, I'm bad at English. Instead, I said, I'm learning English. That small change made a big difference. It felt less like failure, more like a journey I had chosen to walk. I also started learning vocabulary my way. No boring word lists. I only wrote down words I heard in real conversations or videos. Then I made 3 real-life sentences using each word. That's how I remembered them. Not by memorizing, but by using them like tools. Repetition became my secret weapon. I watched the same video 10 times. First with subtitles. Then without. I copied the speaker's voice, speed, and tone. It wasn't easy, but I improved. I didn't just learn English. I trained my tongue, my ears, and my rhythm. One scary day, I recorded my voice. Just a short paragraph. When I listened, I felt embarrassed. My voice sounded weird. My accent was strong. But I didn't delete it. I saved it. I kept recording every week. And slowly, my voice became stronger. More natural. That's when I understood something powerful. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes after. I wasn't confident in English when I started. I was scared. But I kept showing up. Every time I practiced, I became braver. More ready. More sure of myself. I also made English part of my world. I changed my phone language. I watched movies with English subtitles. I listened to English music even if I didn't understand everything. It was okay. I let my brain learn like a baby, slowly, naturally, without fear. No teacher. No course. No magic. Just simple habits, repeated every day. That's what built my English. Not luck. Not talent. Just one decision. I will not quit. I will improve one word, one sentence, one day at a time. That was my real lesson. There was one moment that changed everything. I stood in front of my mirror, looked at myself, and said, "Hello?" It felt strange. I laughed. But I did it again. "How are you?" "I'm fine, thank you." I started talking to my reflection like it was another person. Every morning, I gave myself a small topic. My favorite food. My weekend plans. I spoke for 2 minutes. No writing. No grammar checking. Just speaking. At first, I forgot words. I froze. But I didn't stop. I smiled, breathed, and continued anyway. The mirror became my teacher. It never judged me. It didn't laugh. It didn't say, "Wrong." It just listened. I practiced eye contact, body language, and voice control. I didn't care how I looked or sounded. I only cared that I was speaking, every single day. Then I added recording. I spoke to the mirror, then recorded the same message on my phone. I listened to it like I was a coach. Too fast. Not clear. Wrong word. But I didn't feel bad. I felt motivated. I wanted to improve what I had just heard. After a few weeks, I started seeing change. My voice became stronger. My speech became smoother. I still made mistakes, but fewer than before. And for the first time, I understood this: speaking is not about being perfect. It's about being brave. To make it more fun, I used role play. I pretended I was ordering food at a restaurant. "Can I get a coffee, please?" Or I was in an interview. "Why should we hire you?" I acted out real-life situations. I used my imagination like a classroom. Sometimes, I recorded fake phone calls. "Hi, how are you today? I'm calling about your job ad." I played both parts of the conversation. It was funny, but it worked. My brain started learning the rhythm of English naturally, like a song on repeat. I didn't wait for someone to speak English with me. I created my own partner, myself. I didn't feel lonely. I felt powerful. Because I was taking control of my learning. I was no longer a student. I was becoming a speaker, day by day, word by word. Every week, I saved one audio file. Just one. I called it My Voice Diary. After a few months, I listened to the first one again. I laughed and cried. I could hear how far I'd come. And in that moment, I realized this method works. If you're scared to speak English, don't wait for the perfect partner. Be your own partner. Use your voice. Use your mirror. Use your courage. It's not about having someone to correct you. It's about showing up, speaking up, and never giving up. People say the best way to learn English is to live in an English-speaking country. But what if you can't travel? I couldn't. No plane tickets. No foreign friends. So I decided to bring English to me. My phone, my room, my world, everything became English. First, I changed all my device settings. My phone, laptop, browser, English only. It was confusing at first. I couldn't find things. I made mistakes. But that struggle taught me faster than any classroom. Every mistake was a mini lesson I never forgot. Then I filled my days with English sounds. Podcasts in the morning. YouTube videos while eating. Music while walking. Audiobooks before bed. English became the background of my life, like music in a movie. I didn't always understand. But I kept listening. I chose content for my level, A2 to B1. I didn't watch complex movies or long speeches. I looked for short, clear, real conversations. I watched the same video 5 times. First with subtitles, then without. Repetition made it stick. It became muscle memory. I also stopped using subtitles in my native language. It felt hard at first. But slowly, my brain started connecting words to actions, emotions, and situations. Like a child, I started learning without translation. I learned by feeling, not just reading. One trick that helped was watching children's shows. Simple language. Slow speech. Clear emotions. Shows like Peppa Pig or Dora the Explorer became my teachers. I didn't care if people laughed. I was learning. And that's what mattered. I also made English labels. I wrote words on sticky notes. Mirror, door, notebook. I put them around my room. Every time I touched something, I read the word. Slowly, my room turned into an English classroom. My life became my lesson. On social media, I followed English creators. No more memes in my language. I liked posts in English. I commented in English. I joined groups for learners. My feed changed. My thoughts changed. Even my dreams started to come in English sometimes. English wasn't something I studied anymore. It was something I lived. I didn't need to buy a ticket to London. I created a London in my mind. I built an English world using free tools, daily habits, and my imagination. That world changed me. If you can't go to an English-speaking country, bring the language to your life. It's not about location. It's about dedication. The world is in your pocket. If you have Wi-Fi, you have a window into English. Open it, and keep it open. The scariest part wasn't grammar. It wasn't vocabulary. It was opening my mouth. Speaking out loud. What if I sound stupid? What if someone laughs? What if I make a mistake? These thoughts followed me everywhere. But I refused to let fear win. I realized silence was my enemy. If I wanted to speak English, I had to speak. Not think. Not plan. Speak. So I gave myself a challenge: talk in English every day for 5 minutes. To myself. Out loud. In the mirror. In the kitchen. On the street. Anywhere. At first, it felt strange. My tongue didn't move right. I forgot simple words. I stopped mid-sentence. But I kept going. 5 minutes. Every day. Even when I had nothing to say, I said something. What did I eat today? What did I learn? Anything. Then I leveled up. I started shadowing. I played short English clips and repeated every word after the speaker. Same speed. Same tone. Same rhythm. It was hard. But it trained my mouth and ears. I started sounding more natural without even trying. I made mistakes. Many. I said things like he go, or I know like. I laughed at myself. But I didn't stop. I remembered this: mistakes mean progress. Every baby makes mistakes when learning to talk. I wasn't a baby, but I was a beginner. And that's okay. Sometimes I would record myself, then listen and correct. I didn't judge my accent. I focused on clarity. Could I understand myself? Would others? If not, I tried again. Each recording was a step forward. Each retry built my confidence. One day, I joined a free online speaking group. I was nervous. My heart beat fast. But when I introduced myself, something clicked. I can do this. I wasn't perfect. But I was real. And the others, they were just like me. Scared but trying. After that, I tried speaking with AI bots and language exchange apps. Not every chat was great. Some were awkward. Some were funny. But I kept showing up. I learned how to start conversations, ask questions, and express my ideas without freezing. Every small moment added up. 5 minutes in the mirror. 10 minutes with a chatbot. A short call with a stranger. I was building fluency, not just knowledge. Fluency isn't about knowing all the words. It's about using the words you already know. Don't wait to be perfect before you speak. Speak now. Speak wrong. Speak afraid. Speak with shaky hands and broken sentences. But speak. Because the more you speak, the clearer your voice becomes. And one day, you'll realize, you're no longer afraid. There's one secret most learners ignore: free time. I had so much of it, waiting for a bus, walking, doing dishes. Instead of wasting those moments, I turned them into English practice. My boring minutes became my biggest advantage. Time became my teacher. I started with listening. Always something in my ear. Music, podcasts, interviews. Not just background noise, I paid attention. I repeated phrases. I guessed meanings. If I didn't understand a word, I didn't stop. I focused on the message, not perfection. Then I added talking. Quietly. In my head or under my breath. I'm going to the shop now. I need to clean this plate. It felt silly at first. But it trained my brain to think in English, not translate. That's when real fluency started to grow. Sometimes I even described things around me. The sky is gray. There's a bird on the roof. That man is wearing a red shirt. These small sentences trained my observation and vocabulary. I was building fluency without a book or classroom. When walking alone, I practiced imaginary conversations. What would I say if someone asked about my job? How would I explain my favorite movie? I prepared answers in my head. So if the real moment ever came, I'd be ready to speak. At home, I added English to my routines. While brushing my teeth, I practiced tongue twisters. She sells seashells. I sounded funny with toothpaste in my mouth, but it helped. It trained my pronunciation and made me laugh at the same time. Before sleep, I played one short English video. Just 5 minutes. Something relaxing. A vlog. A bedtime story. My brain kept learning even after I closed my eyes. Sometimes I even dreamed in English. That's how deep the habit became. No textbooks. No pressure. Just small daily moments. Over time, those short sessions built my fluency. I didn't need hours. I just needed consistency. And boredom, which I once hated, became my biggest learning tool. I never saw time the same way again. One day, I realized I was replying to messages in English without thinking. I was talking to myself in English, even when I was tired. English was no longer study time. It was life. It was everywhere. I didn't force it. I simply allowed it to grow. The truth is, we all have time. But how we use it changes everything. English isn't something you find time for. It's something you live with. It grows in your quiet moments, in your routines, in your boredom, if you let it. After some months, I felt stuck. I wasn't improving like before. My motivation dropped. I could understand basic English, but I couldn't express deeper thoughts. I reached a plateau, a flat line. It felt like I was walking but not moving. I panicked. I thought maybe this was my limit. Maybe I wasn't smart enough. But deep down, I knew the truth. I wasn't failing, I was just not growing like in the beginning. And that's normal. Every learner hits this wall. The question is, what now? So I made a new rule. When progress feels slow, change the method, not the mission. I asked myself, what part of English scares me most? The answer was easy: fast native speech and real conversations. So I faced that fear head on. I started watching faster English content, vlogs, interviews, short films. I didn't understand everything. But I didn't stop or slow down. I let the words wash over me. I caught what I could. And over time, I caught more. My brain was adapting. Then I joined online discussions, free video calls, language exchange platforms. My hands were sweating. My heart raced. But I showed up. Sometimes I said one sentence. Sometimes 10. But I always said something. I never stayed silent. I also changed my reading. No more textbook articles. I read short stories, Reddit threads, movie reviews. Real people. Real language. I underlined cool expressions and used them in my speech. My English became more natural, not just correct. One trick helped a lot: imitation. I picked a video and copied the speaker's style. If they were excited, I got excited. If they whispered, I whispered. I was learning tone, feeling, and rhythm, not just words. I was becoming a better communicator. I stopped judging my progress daily. Some days felt boring. Some days were tough. But I looked at the bigger picture. I asked, where was I 6 months ago? And the answer always gave me hope. I wasn't stuck. I was just growing slowly. Progress is like a seed. You water it, but you don't see it grow every second. Still, it grows. I trusted that. I let go of the pressure to be perfect. I reminded myself, fluency is not a finish line, it's a lifestyle. When you hit a plateau, don't quit. Change your routine. Push through the boredom. Speak louder. Listen deeper. Take risks. And remember, you're not failing. You're leveling up. One day, I spoke English with a stranger online. I was excited, and then I messed up. I said, "He go to work every day." They corrected me. I felt embarrassed. My face turned red. I almost closed the app. That small mistake hit me hard. But later I asked myself, why did that hurt so much? It wasn't just grammar. It was ego. I wanted to be perfect. But perfection was never the goal, communication was. That mistake wasn't a failure. It was a sign I was actually speaking. I remembered how babies learn. They fall. They mispronounce words. They forget. But do they stop? No. They laugh. They try again. And slowly, they get better. I decided to learn like a baby. Proud of mistakes. Excited by progress. Always curious. So I started collecting my mistakes. I made a special page in my notebook. Funny errors. Every time I said something wrong or strange, I wrote it down. Then I wrote the correction. I turned my failures into flashcards. One time I said, "I'm boring," instead of "I'm bored." Another time I called a beach a bitch. We laughed hard. I'll never forget that one. Mistakes like these were painful at first, but unforgettable. That's what made them powerful teachers. Every week I reviewed my mistake list. It showed me how far I'd come. Fewer grammar slips. Better word choices. Clearer pronunciation. Each corrected error was a step forward. And the best part? I stopped fearing failure. I started learning from it. I even asked people to correct me. Not in a rude way. Just honest feedback. "Hey, if I say something strange, please let me know." Most people were kind. They helped me fix small errors I never noticed. And that help made a big difference. Soon, my mindset changed. I stopped chasing perfect English. I started chasing real English. I cared more about clarity than correctness, more about speaking than memorizing, more about effort than ego. That's when I truly improved. I learned to pause and laugh at my mistakes, to say, oops, and keep going, to treat every failure as a friend, not a threat. I wasn't weak, I was brave. I was doing what most people were too scared to try. That gave me strength. So here's the truth: if you want to grow, make mistakes. Speak wrong. Write wrong. Be wrong. But do it loud. Do it proud. Because the more mistakes you make, the faster you learn, and the sooner you become unstoppable. One day I asked myself, why do kids learn languages so fast? The answer hit me: they live in the language. Everything they hear, see, and say is in that language. So I decided to build my own English world, even without leaving my country. I made English my default setting. No more switching back to my language. Music? English. TV? English. My diary, my thoughts, my questions to Google, all in English. I even started thinking in English, little by little. It felt strange, but exciting. At home, I named everything: chair, table, mirror. I walked around saying the names out loud. My family laughed. I laughed too. But inside I knew this was working. Every object became a mini vocabulary lesson. My home was now my classroom. I also changed the way I spoke to myself. Instead of saying I'd say, I'm tired, I'd ask myself, what am I doing right now? And answer in English. I'm walking to the store. I'm cooking rice. These small talks trained my fluency. Next, I started watching daily vlogs. Not big Hollywood movies. Just normal people showing their lives. I listened to how they talked, what phrases they used, how they expressed emotion. I didn't just study English, I absorbed it. I joined online forums where people asked real questions. How do I fix my bike? What's a good movie to watch? I read answers. I wrote a few myself. I wasn't just learning the language, I was living in it. One sentence at a time. I also made a rule: English every morning, even for 5 minutes. A podcast, a quote, a quick video. It was like brushing my teeth. No matter how tired I felt, I did it. It wasn't a task anymore, it was a lifestyle. I started following English meme pages. Funny pictures with short texts. I laughed, learned new slang, and repeated the jokes to myself. It was fun. It wasn't study time, but I was learning without even noticing. Slowly, English stopped feeling foreign. It became familiar. Not perfect, not always easy, but comfortable. I wasn't translating in my head anymore. I was just speaking, responding, feeling. My English world was now my comfort zone. You don't need to be in London or New York to learn English. You can build your own English life, right here, right now. Surround yourself. Immerse fully. Make it part of your soul. That's how real fluency is born. I used to think learning meant always doing something new. New words, new topics, new videos. But I was wrong. Real progress came when I repeated the same thing again and again. Repetition wasn't boring. It was the magic that turned knowledge into skill. I picked one short video. A simple vlog. Just 2 minutes long. I watched it 10 times. First with subtitles. Then without. Then with closed eyes, only listening. Then I shadowed the speaker. I copied the voice, tone, and rhythm. It felt like acting. Each time, I understood more. Words I missed before suddenly became clear. I started noticing small details, the way they connected ideas, used pauses, or changed tone. Repeating helped me not just understand English but feel it like music. Next, I did the same with listening. I chose one podcast episode. 5 minutes. I listened every day for 1 week. On day 1, I understood 40%. Day 2, 60%. By day 7, I could almost say the whole thing with them. I didn't memorize, I absorbed. I also repeated speaking exercises. I said the same introduction every day. Hi, my name is underscore underscore underscore. I'm from underscore underscore underscore. I like underscore underscore underscore. Each time, I changed small things. Added more emotion. Spoke more clearly. My fluency grew from saying it again and again. Reading was no different. I read one short story 5 times. At first, it was just words. But by the 3rd time, I noticed feelings. By the 5th, I understood the deeper message. It wasn't just reading, it was connecting with the story. I made repetition part of my routine. Monday, 1 video. Tuesday, same video. Wednesday, shadow it. Thursday, record myself. Friday, review. I stopped chasing new. I started chasing deep. That's when my English went from basic to real. Mistakes repeated also became lessons. If I kept saying something wrong, I didn't ignore it. I wrote it down. I fixed it. I said the correct version 10 times. Slowly, the mistake disappeared. Not by force, but by focused repetition. Some people think repetition is boring. But it's how we learned our first language. Hearing mama 1,000 times. Saying bye daily. Repetition is natural. It creates confidence. Confidence creates fluency. It's the path, not the shortcut. So if you want to grow, repeat. Repeat your favorite video. Repeat your favorite phrase. Repeat your small talk. Don't fear repetition. Embrace it. Because every time you repeat, your brain says, I know this. And that's when English becomes yours. Learning alone is hard. No one checks your homework. No one tells you, good job. No classes. No deadlines. Just you. Some days I felt strong. Other days I felt lazy. The biggest challenge wasn't English. It was staying motivated without support. So I created my own motivation. I made small goals. Learn 5 new words. Speak for 5 minutes. Finish 1 video. After completing each one, I gave myself a reward. A snack. A walk. A song. It was simple, but it worked like magic. I also tracked my wins. I had a calendar on the wall. Every day I practiced, I added a green mark. Missed a day? Red mark. Seeing those green days in a row pushed me forward. I didn't want to break the chain. That little chart became my coach. Another trick, I recorded progress videos. Once a month, I filmed myself speaking freely. No script. No filter. Just raw English. Watching old videos reminded me how far I'd come. My accent improved. My speed increased. I felt proud, not perfect. I made a why list. I wrote down all the reasons I wanted to speak English. Travel. Jobs. Friends. Confidence. Freedom. When I felt tired, I read that list. It reminded me, this journey wasn't just about language. It was about building a new life. Sometimes I imagine future moments. Ordering food abroad. Giving a speech. Helping someone who doesn't speak my native language. Those small dreams gave me big energy. Motivation isn't always loud. Sometimes it's a quiet picture in your mind. I also changed my environment. I cleaned my study space. I printed motivational quotes in English. I made my learning area feel powerful. One quote said, "If you're tired, learn anyway." That line became my favorite. I saw it every day. I listened to inspiring English learners on YouTube. People just like me. No perfect grammar. No fancy schools. Just effort, struggle, and success. Their stories reminded me, I'm not alone. If they could do it, so could I. There were still bad days. Lazy days. Doubtful days. But I didn't wait to feel ready. I started small. I always told myself. Just do 5 minutes. And usually, 5 minutes became 10. Motivation grows with action, not before it. So if you're learning alone, become your own cheerleader. Celebrate small wins. Track your effort. Feed your goals. Remember your why. Don't wait for motivation. Create it. You're not just learning English. You're learning how to never quit. Even after months of practice, doubt came back. I heard someone speak fluently, and suddenly I felt small. I'll never sound like that. I thought. Maybe I started too late. My brain filled with fear. But I'd seen this enemy before, self-doubt. I used to believe that fluent people were just talented. That they had something I didn't. But now I knew the truth. They just had more time, more practice, and more patience. They weren't better, they were earlier in the journey. So I stopped comparing. I wasn't trying to be the best. I was trying to be better than yesterday. My goal wasn't perfect English. My goal was freedom. To express myself. To connect. To grow. That reminder gave me strength again. I also reminded myself of my progress. A year ago, I couldn't say a full sentence. Now I could talk for 5 minutes without notes. That's not failure. That's proof. Proof that effort works. That slow progress is still progress. Sometimes, I watched my old recordings. My voice shaking. My grammar broken. But my courage was real. I was proud of that version of me. Because he didn't quit. He kept going. And every word he said was a brick on the road to fluency. I told myself, fluency isn't loud. Sometimes it's quiet confidence. It's the ability to handle a real conversation. It's being understood. It's helping someone. I didn't need to speak like a native. I just needed to speak like me. Doubt still visited. It whispered, "You're too slow." But I answered, "I'm consistent." It said, "You'll never be fluent." I said, "Watch me." I learned to respond to fear with action. Speak one more sentence. Watch one more video. Write one more line. I created a playlist of my favorite motivational videos. On days I felt weak, I played one. Not just to feel good, but to remember who I wanted to become. A speaker. A helper. A global citizen. That vision brought my energy back. I also talked to other learners. I shared my struggles. They shared theirs. And suddenly, I didn't feel alone. We laughed at our mistakes. We celebrated small wins. Community doesn't have to be big, it just has to be honest. So if doubt visits you, welcome it, but don't believe it. Let it remind you how far you've come. Let it fuel your next step. Because doubt is loud only when you stop moving. Speak through it. Learn through it. And rise anyway. Then it finally happened. A tourist in my city asked for help. "Excuse me, do you speak English?" My heart jumped. I froze for 1 second. Then I smiled and said, "Yes, I do." That simple sentence felt like climbing a mountain and standing on top. I gave directions in English. Simple, clear, slow. He thanked me and walked away. I stood there shaking a little. Not because I was scared, but because I had done it. Real English. In real life. Not a test. Not a video. A real conversation. That day, something inside me changed. I was no longer learning English. I was using it. Living it. Feeling it. My confidence wasn't from books. It was from experience. That short chat was worth 10 hours of grammar lessons. After that, I looked for more chances. I started small, commenting on videos in English. Sending voice messages. Helping new learners online. Slowly, I was turning from student to speaker. From listener to leader. From learner to user. I joined free online meetings. Some were awkward. Some were fun. But I always spoke. Even one sentence. I introduced myself, asked questions, gave opinions. My goal was not perfection. My goal was courage. And with each session I grew. At work, I found an English-speaking client. I volunteered to talk. I made mistakes, but I survived. I didn't hide. I asked, "Can you repeat that?" Or, "Sorry, one more time?" I learned that native speakers don't need perfection, they need understanding. One time, I helped translate for someone at a shop. I spoke slowly and clearly. The person said, "Your English is very good." I smiled. Not because it was perfect, but because it was enough. I had used my voice to help someone else. English was no longer a subject. It became a skill. A key. A tool I could use anytime, anywhere. I didn't need permission. I didn't need a certificate. My real reward was connection. That's what I had always wanted, and now I had it. The more I spoke, the less afraid I felt. The fear didn't disappear completely, but it lost power. Every sentence I said was another brick in the bridge between me and the world. English wasn't just helping me speak, it was helping me grow. So don't wait for the perfect moment to use your English. The real world is your best classroom. Speak at the store. Online. With friends. With strangers. Each moment is a chance to grow. And one day, you'll realize, you've already become fluent. One evening, I sat alone and played my first English voice recording. My voice was slow, nervous, unsure. I smiled. That version of me had no teacher, no class, no plan, just a dream. And now, that dream was real. I had become the speaker I once imagined. I looked at my old notes. Crumpled pages. Mistakes. Basic phrases. Words written again and again. Every page told a story, not of grammar, but of growth. I didn't just learn a language. I built discipline. I built belief. I built a new version of me. English changed more than my words. It changed my world. I got new job offers. I made friends from other countries. I helped tourists. I joined international projects. And most importantly, I found a voice that was silent for years. I didn't need a perfect accent. I didn't need a teacher. I needed action. I needed effort. Every small step mattered. Every 5-minute practice counted. I didn't climb the mountain in one day, I climbed it with one sentence at a time. Now I teach others what I learned. Not as a master, but as a messenger. I say, if I can do it, so can you. No money? Use free tools. No time? Start with 5 minutes. No support? Be your own cheerleader. Your journey is waiting. Just begin. The journey never really ends. I still learn new words. I still watch videos. I still make mistakes. But now, I enjoy the process. I don't chase perfection. I chase connection. And every new conversation feels like another door opening. Sometimes I meet learners who say, "I'm too old." Or, "I'm too shy." And I tell them what I learned: English doesn't care how old you are. It only cares how consistent you are. If you show up every day, the results will show up too. There's no secret method. No magic course. Just simple habits repeated with heart. You don't need permission. You don't need to be born in the right place. You just need to begin, and believe. That belief is stronger than grammar rules. The world needs your voice. Not perfect. Not fancy. Just honest. The day you stop saying, "I'm bad at English," and start saying, "I'm learning English," is the day everything changes. That small shift can open 1,000 doors. So if you're on this path, keep going. Your progress might feel slow. You might feel stuck. But every word you speak builds something. You're not behind. You're just in the middle of your story. And the best part is still ahead. This isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of a new one. I no longer say, "I'm trying to learn English." I say, "I speak English." It may not be perfect. But it's mine. And it opens doors, starts conversations, and creates opportunities. Today, I can call people across the world. I can listen without translating. I can express my thoughts. English gave me freedom. Not just to speak, but to dream bigger. To believe that I can learn anything. If I could do this, what else can I do? Sometimes I look back and ask, how did I do it without a teacher? And the answer is simple. I became my own teacher. I practiced daily. I didn't quit. I trusted the process. I gave myself permission to fail, and I kept going. Every app, every video, every mirror talk, every mistake, they were my lessons. I didn't need a classroom. I turned the world into one. Every moment became a chance to grow. My life became my textbook. My goals became my homework. Now I help others. I tell them the truth, you don't need to be perfect. You need to be present. Speak when it's hard. Practice when it's boring. Smile when it's scary. The more you show up, the more the language becomes a part of you. English gave me more than words. It gave me strength, confidence, joy. It reminded me that I'm capable of change. I used to feel small. Now I speak loud. I don't hide. I share. I connect. And I keep growing, one conversation at a time. You might be at the start of your journey. Maybe you feel stuck or scared. That's okay. We all start there. What matters is this: don't give up. If you keep going, the fear fades. The voice grows. The words come. Slowly. Then suddenly. Believe in your voice. Use it. Record it. Repeat it. Share it. There's someone in the world who needs your words. English is not just a language. It's a bridge, to people, to dreams, to a life you never thought was possible. If you ever doubt yourself, remember my story. I started with nothing but a phone and a dream. No teacher. No course. Just consistent action. If I made it here, so can you. Your future fluency is waiting. Go meet it. Thanks for listening to my journey. If it helped you, share your story in the comments. Like, subscribe, and join this community of brave learners. Let's grow together, word by word, step by step. The best is yet to come. Globe showing Europe Africa Speech Alone.